Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Ben English Experience. Today we had Jose, who's a Spanish teacher from Venezuela, and it was a really interesting conversation. Actually, it was last night we had it, but I made a little mistake and I didn't record my face with his face. So you're just going to see Jose in the video, and not me. We talked about his progress and from not speaking English to speaking incredibly well to be able to do a podcast for an hour. Amazing results, and I just loved hearing his story and the reasons why he wanted to learn English. And I really enjoyed this one. So thank you again, Jose, for doing this. And I'll see you sometime soon. I'm sure to do another one. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about what you do?
Okay, I'm a Spanish slash um, English teacher, more Spanish teacher, 95% more Spanish teacher than English teacher,
Uh,
but
like me as well. I teach like 95% English, but I can teach Spanish, um, and I can teach a bit of French. It's not my preference, but I feel like I'm more in demand with English, obviously, and that's where I can sell myself better being a native speaker. I imagine that's
yeah.
probably the same with you.
For example, I used to teach English in special occasions. For example,
Mm-hmm.
a friend of mine. Do you know what? My cousin is trying to learn English. Would you like to help him? And I say, okay, let's try. But
Nice.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give you the basic things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you my own experience, like how I did, how it worked, how
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 you
I
did
learned.
it? Yeah, because I mean you're a
And
fantastic speaker. I
and
mean,
there is another interesting thing that no one learns at the same way that, like,
sure.
for example, if I learn in a way using one method,
Mm-hmm.
another guy probably gonna use the same method, and maybe it doesn't work for him as it worked for me. It's about to it's more about try to find out the way you learn, because every single person learn in different ways, and when
Definitely.
you find that way, you start learning a lot. But the basic things are pretty important. So when you start learning, more than try to find how you're supposed to be learning faster, try to learn the first things, and eventually you're going to be able to enhance your own skills, vocabulary, listening, writing, and everything.
And voila, there. I mean, that's the proof is in the pudding. They say in English. Like your English is incredible. And even if you're not native, you've had a level higher than other people around you, so you've been able to help them
Yeah,
with it.
yeah, you're supposed to be trying to help the others, in that case.
Absolutely.
But in the other hand, we had the Spanish with native. So as a method, I used to be the most attentive guy in
Mm-hmm.
the room. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have any doubt, no matter what, you
Yeah.
can ask me why this is used to be say like this and not the other way. I'm gonna try to explain it. If I don't know, I'm gonna try to find a way to
Mm-hmm.
give you that important information, because every single question it's important in that field.
Yeah.
As a teacher, that
In
there
the
are
context.
questions that people used to feel afraid, something like, oh my gosh, what's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to people think about
Mm-hmm.
this. No, it's that's another tool that you should be able to use during your your journey, which is learning a new language.
Mm-hmm.
Ask as many questions as you can.
Mm-hmm.
That's another way.
There's never enough. There's never enough questions.
Yeah, yeah. And the other one could be something like, when I used to teach, I always try to give this advice. Turn these lessons into your hobbies or part of your culture, because when you feel more part of the culture, you're going to be trying to learn more for example, for movies, or using new movies, music, and other things that used to be present over the,
It's not just the
the language.
language. It's not just the language. It's a
Yeah,
culture. It's a way of life. Um, that you have to involve yourself in that, get emotionally or into the society or the way of thinking.
yeah, that's pretty
That's a
important.
good tip. There was a lot of good thing there. Good things there.
Yeah.
So, how did you?
F-
Can I ask you a question then? How did
yeah,
you? So how did you learn English? Like, what was the way that you
yeah.
managed to?
It was a whole process,
I feel like there were some
because
hints. There were like hints there that you obviously you enjoyed English stuff like movies, and that was a benefit
yeah, most of the movies that I used to watch are in English
in
because
English.
the good ones used to be in English.
And you didn't
But it's
watch it.
another way to say,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah. I was just gonna say you never watched those in Spanish. You watched them in English
if
with
it's a good,
subtitles.
yeah, if it's a good movie in Spanish,
Hmm.
made in Mexico or another place, I'm gonna
Hmm.
watch it in Spanish.
Of course.
But if it's like TV series or things like that in English, I'm gonna
Hmm.
be trying to always, even I don't get the 100%. Oh,
No,
I can
no,
understand the 100% of the movie.
no. You don't need
No,
to.
I'm not able to. I
You
would
don't.
like it,
I don't.
but in most of the cases,
Mhm.
I catch the important things, and I used to try to get the context, and with that, I'm okay.
So what's your secret? What series did you watch? Oh,
In Venezuela, where I am from, it's pretty common to watch. It was pretty common to watch. Now it's not able.
okay.
But
So this was a while back when you were
Friends, yeah.
friends. Classic.
I remember Friends, How I Met Your Mother.
Okay, cool. The classic.
Most of them used to be, the classic ones, but sitcoms
Yeah, exactly.
or
Because
Cold
that's
Case. Mm,
okay. Detective sort of
uh-huh.
investigation. And
And
like, this is interesting because it is a situation. So you're seeing situations being played out, so you can
mhm,
understand like the context as well, what's going on. That
yeah.
helps.
But my secret start with video games.
Ah, video games. Fantastic. Like
Yeah.
which ones? Which ones?
Uh, when I was a kid, I used to play. No, my dad bought my first PlayStation when I was 9, 10, something like that.
Good.
So everything used to come in English.
Uh-huh.
So can you imagine that? If you was trying to play a game,
And you
it
want to
was
know the story.
pretty
Hmm.
yeah, it was pretty rare to find a Spanish subtitle game. It was
Wow.
impossible.
Hmm.
So when you're supposed to go to the store and say, and for kids, when you see something colorful or interesting, you say, I would like this. Probably you won't be able to know what it's the title about, but you like it because the cover.
Yep.
You bought it and you say, what the hell I bought. For example, my first game was about boats. It wasn't pretty important, but the second one was Resident Evil 3,
Cool.
which is something like zombies,
Zombies, yeah.
puzzles,
Thriller. Killers. Gore.
horror. Yeah, gore. And you
Scary.
say, oh my gosh, but the game was amazing. And I remember when you're supposed to be finding keys, puzzle pieces for solving mysteries.
Yeah, sure.
And so I used to say, I found the key, la llave, key.
Yeah.
Key
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
English
The
is
key.
llave in Spanish,
Right, right.
but the key hasn't a name.
Uh,
So I say, I found the key, the la llave key. So, okay, la llave, but I know that key. I didn't know that key,
yeah,
means English. In English, it
yeah.
means llave, but I call llave key.
Right, right, right.
So,
You're learning.
that's
You were learning.
yeah. I was learning, but I
You didn't
say
even
this is
know.
a key. This is the form of this had a shape. What
Right,
shape it
right,
is?
right.
A llave. Yeah, that's a key. So
Mhm,
I start learning with this. So, but learning with games, it's something like a little part of learning because the pronunciation never is the same.
mhm, mhm,
In Spanish, if you read something like I don't know, you have your rules. They are pretty easy, right? Like nombre, you have nombre.
mhm, mhm,
If you found those syllables around the world, you're gonna sound the same, no matter what which word is.
mhm,
In
mhm.
English, it changed a lot.
It does, yeah.
So we I say we because my friends
You
we
and your friends.
those when we were playing together,
Yeah, yeah.
we used to when we read the conversations or the puzzles, we used to read like instead of saying go forward, go forward and found something, right?
Yeah, yeah,
We used to read something like go forward
yeah. Yeah.
and found
Mhm.
something.
Yeah.
That's not English, but you was getting
You were a good student. I think this is the other point that you were like suggesting this as an advice, right? To be attentive, to like ask questions, to be curious, to like the fact that you and your friends were trying to repeat it was a step. It's even though it wasn't great, it was a step closer. And I'm sure it didn't sound. I'm sure it sounded a lot worse than what you just said before. I'm sure it was completely because now you speak, you understand it, and it's hard to lose that knowledge of understanding, right?
yeah, that's part of you.
So
When so
part of
there
you.
are many emotions, attached with that.
Yeah, yeah, and
So
the instructions, right? Like you have to jump or duck or I don't know, fire.
yeah.
These little
When you
little words.
press
Press,
a
press.
key,
Yeah.
you're supposed to say, okay, I'm jumping. Say
Mhm.
jumping.
Yeah.
Salta. They say jump, hump.
Yeah.
We because hump because
Like
jump.
they're
It's
thinking.
not like
Yeah.
that's another part.
They don't have that sound. You don't have ja ja. No, I don't think.
No, for
Yeah.
jump. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hump. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I I
So
I think that was like it's a really interesting way, and I think unfortunately, like in a good way, like you didn't have the Spanish version. That was a benefit for you,
mhm.
even though. So like the fact that we're becoming more globalized now, I don't know, but I imagine more games are now in Spanish and not in English, which is a shame because
No,
games are
English.
different now, no?
English is bigger than other
Sure.
languages.
And
So
these days
if
I
you are
also
creating a game which
yeah,
has a lot of develop work and everything,
it's gonna be in
it,
English, right?
you're always gonna try to reach the higher population around the world. So English, that's it. Even if there are many games around there, like
Like
I
Russian
don't
games.
remember
I've seen Russian games in English.
the Russian games, but
Not so
they
much.
always they are pretty. They used to be pretty strange, no.
Yeah,
But
it makes.
there is a game now which is from Argentina,
Oh yeah, okay.
and its name is Quantum League, and everything is in English. It has, of course, the Spanish translation,
Sure.
but it was mainly created based on the English.
Yeah,
So part of that. So
yeah.
after
So
that, they have
technology, video games. If you like video games, if you like this industry, English, you need English.
you need English for everything, for making new friends, for traveling around the world. And it's learn English changed my life because I wasn't able to speak English properly.
So first it was video games.
Five,
That helped. TV
yeah,
series. You didn't. Yeah, you didn't say when did you.
yeah. After that, I was starting watching that, but um,
When did you
um,
feel like you became conversational? When you became confident?
it took me a lot of time. I used to have a English teacher from United States.
Mhm.
Her name was Soar. That's a pretty strange name,
Yeah.
but that's her name.
Where was she from?
uh,
In the US?
US.
And did you do
So
one-on-ones or was that online?
No, one on one. No, one on one. No, 30 and one because it was a whole class.
Okay, you were in a school for English?
Yeah, I went to a school for English, but it was like okay, let me go back a little bit.
It was in
So in
Venezuela,
the
right?
school in Venezuela, right? But in the school, English sucks.
Right.
Never tried
In the state school, in secondary school, in high school.
elementary, high school, university, everything.
Yeah.
It's the same. They used to give you the same. That's the Venezuelan,
It wasn't
Um,
very good in I think learning a language is difficult, and learning with 30 people in one class. I mean, it was even
it's not,
difficult. It was difficult for me, and I now speak those languages, but at school it was not. The methodology is wrong, I think.
no, it's not the best way because every single person has its own,
Way of
questions. Gonna so that's in
personalization.
that field you're gonna say this guy is better because this guy is better than this one, and it's because that guy has the lucky that that method was working for him and not for the other one.
So,
But okay, I
so everyone
in
can
the
learn
whole
it.
school.
You believe in everyone can learn it. It's just a way of finding the way that suits you to learn.
Yeah, and every single person can it's able to learn it. But I think that one thing that's gonna help you a lot, it's how much do you need it. For example, if I need it for traveling, you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna practice once a week, twice a week, and I'm gonna be perfect for my travel. And maybe you can do some things like, can I go to the bathroom, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, if you want to learn it, you have to work every single day because and now with the internet it's easier, but something like 10 years ago it wasn't pretty easy because the internet wasn't for example, in Venezuela internet is nowadays it's even worse.
Really?
But you used to learn with bilingual dictionary, which is not I don't think it's pretty well because you used
It's
to
text based for a start, only text.
yeah, it could help you, but I don't like it too much because you are trying to translate, and being a translator, it's a pretty difficult task.
True.
So it's better only have a monolingual, I think, a monolingual dictionary,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna be feeling
Mm-hmm.
that desire for learning.
It's more
So
immersive, more exciting,
yeah.
more
So for
discovery.
the elementary school, high school, and the university,
Mm-hmm.
English sucks.
Yeah.
30 guys that they don't know, one poor teacher
Yeah.
trying to, explain something pretty complex, pretty difficult
Mm-hmm.
to 30 pupils at the same time. It's not the best way.
Mm-hmm. So
And
what was
you're
the?
supposed to be learning with that. If you don't learn it,
Mm-hmm.
it's not okay.
So
So
did you enjoy English at school?
I hate it.
You hated it.
With even I used to
With a
play with
passion.
that, but with
That's
that
just
thing of video games and series
yeah.
during the school,
Yeah.
I used to have a higher
Level.
level.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
level more than our level was almost the same. Crappy. But the score, the test, for
Yeah.
example, the other kids used to which measurement,
You were
which
like
score
higher.
do you use?
We would do we would do like A, B, C. Yeah.
Okay, let's say the other kids used to say you used to reach C, and I used to reach B
Okay.
because of that. We,
Yeah.
only with that playing video
Yeah.
games in English
So,
that give me an extra,
but again, this is a problem anyway with school is the type of exams are specific to one kind of people. So you might have just been better at taking exams than them. You know, it's not just because of your skill, but just the way that you are assessed. That could have played a factor in it. But obviously, if you were doing a bit of outside of school work, right, like you were playing video games with English and you were watching series, that obviously made you feel more confident. I mean, you felt like you were better than the other students anyway,
yeah.
stronger.
So yeah, people thought something like, "Oh my gosh, this guy it's gringo,"
Yeah.
because but I didn't know that. I wasn't that guy because I used to have a higher rank score,
Mhm.
but mm,
Look, I,
my teacher wasn't in the school, and the elementary school, high and the high school and the university, none of them were native. So I was learning, and
okay.
my dubs never were, pretty well
The teachers
clarified.
were not none were from Peru, from Venezuela, right?
Yeah, all of them were from Venezuela, so they didn't speak too
Mhm.
much English.
Yeah, I mean, I'm half French, right? And my mother is French, and
No.
I had a better accent than my teacher, and but I still got a C, I think, at the end of my A levels with French. And so that, and I'm half French, so it failed me. The system failed me because I was never able to really prove to them that I could actually communicate. But I've, I got, maybe it was just the exams. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, because I see myself as successful in having spoken or having
Yeah,
languages.
eventually that they're gonna be that won't be helping you at
Yeah,
all because
exactly. I mean, school's good, and it's good to have like. Obviously, I didn't work as hard as the other students, and I think that's probably part of it as well. I feel like I'm not as studious, and I think that was partly because I was not motivated, and that was because of the problems with school. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm really glad that now I speak other languages. I mean, I was lucky because brought, I was, I had French from a young age and had that exposure. And learning two languages, having French made learning Spanish easier. So I realized that I'm actually really really lucky. A lot of my friends that like from England don't speak any other languages. A lot of people don't speak one language.
yeah,
So you're just immediately giving yourself more opportunities, and I'm really eternally grateful for having had these opportunities to learn another language, partly through heritage of my, when I was born into it, which is just, I'm just grateful for that. But anyway, um, so what was that like that tipping curve? Because I remember like for me, it took me about a year and a half to feel like I could speak Spanish, like have a conversation in Spanish. And that is bearing in mind I was living in South America and teaching English. So I had a lot of exposure and opportunity, but I was also, my main job was also being around other English teachers and speaking a lot of English. It was only until I kind of left that bubble, um, then I kind of accelerated. But what was it that, and I just felt like that tipping point, it's like that curve, and you just go,
when you
okay,
say, "Oh my gosh, I'm learning. I know what I'm doing
yeah,
finally." Right?
exactly. Yeah, you know what you're doing. You might not be using the right tenses, but you can talk in the past. You can tell stories. You can talk about yourself, and you can tell people
You
about your
can go
brand.
outside with your friends.
You can go out and you can meet new people, and you suddenly feel like you're getting somewhere, right? What was that kind of moment for you from like transitioning from school to like then going, okay, I feel like I've got it? Was it when you came to Cusco and started traveling, or did you have that before?
Yeah, it was okay. I have been exposed on this language when since when I was a kid, with Disney movies and everything. And
Yeah,
my dad and mom, they used to try to do that, but it wasn't pretty easy. And there is a pretty bad, well constructed theory, which is in 1 year you're gonna be fluent. You're going to be able to speak as much as you need,
yeah,
only practicing 1 hour per day. Okay, if you speak English, French, Chinese, for kids, they used to take a pretty, extensive time
yeah,
to start making, questions, important things. Even they have a mother and father that they speak that language. Even they go to the school and everything. So it's gonna be, your 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 speaking skills and everything won't be just um, appearing like, oh my gosh, I can speak now.
Yeah.
So there are no magic tricks. So for me, it was like, okay, I always was trying to learn because I like it.
Mhm.
I'm not pretty well, singing songs because even in Spanish, I'm not good, trying to sing.
Off tune.
I have friends that they used to, they are able to sing the song of Bruno Mars, and if you ask them,
Yeah.
how was your day today? Huh? So so it's about every single person. For me, when I was I remember one day I was um when I was 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
I went to swimming swimming
Classes.
championship.
Okay. You're a swimmer. A champion
Yeah,
swimmer. Nice.
yeah, the
We
champion
didn't know
swimmer.
that. We
I,
have
I
a
didn't I
champion
didn't
swimmer.
won that championship, but I used to swim.
Okay, that's cool.
So I remember we were staying in a hotel, ho, in a
A hotel?
hostel.
In a
Uh-huh.
hostel.
Yeah, and it was in a pretty well-known shore coast of Venezuela, which is
Maybe you
La
say
Guaira
a resort, a beach resort.
beach resort. Okay, beach resort. So
Resort.
that beach resort was receiving people.
This is a typical Spanish speaking problem that
Mhm.
they don't Spanish speakers don't finish their word with the consonant, the strong. So they tend
Yeah,
to they drop it, and when in English we don't do that. We really stress that last T. So like
uh,
report.
report.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry, or resort, right?
result.
Like report, but resort.
Result.
And I always, yeah, because I went to the resort. Huh? What? Resort. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, you got it, you got it.
you
You're right.
add, you must
Resort.
add, exactly. That's that final one because that doesn't happen in Spanish
Mm-hmm.
naturally. That's not a natural thing in Spanish.
Yeah, that's one of the things that when you have even there are many people that they used to say something like I speak a lot of English, but you need to learn something that you're always gonna be learning.
Yeah,
That's the, the
totally.
the cool thing of the language
Yeah, I
because
was gonna say like you were. I mean, I feel like I'm still mastering English. Like this is not just because I have an advantage because I had this around my life, obviously.
yeah,
But I'm still mastering it. There are new words that come into my world. It's because I look for them as well. Because you could just stay with what you got, but like you said, you want to learn new things. And you like learning, so you want to expand your vocabulary as much as possible. So I'm not a master. I wouldn't call myself a master of English. I'm not Shakespeare either.
yeah.
A singer, right? My friends, some of my things. What I'm good at is well, I don't know what I'm good at actually. Making podcasts, yeah, talking to people.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Yeah, we want to get people talking. That's what we want. People to tell their stories, I think, as much as possible.
Yeah.
And practice.
So
Let's do it while practicing English. Yeah, yeah. So
that's nice. So when we were, I say my
that's right. You
when I
were
say
in
we, it's my team, right?
yes, you were in Venezuela in a resort, and you were gonna win this championship. And something
Yeah, it wasn't
you met a
it wasn't
beautiful
a good.
English girl, and you were like,
I
right, I'm gonna start
yeah.
speaking English now. Forget this.
No, when I was in that resort, right? I wasn't I wasn't that night I wasn't able to sleep because I was pretty excited to to the race that will supposed to be happening the next day. So I went to the bar and I ordered something like a water or something. And that state of La Guaira, that's the name of
Yeah, the
that
area,
region.
the place.
They have a basketball team.
Hmm.
They had a basketball team, and they used to bring people from United States and those countries that they used to speak English a lot. So there were three guys that go to the pub to drink something, and they asked me something. Blah, 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 blah. And I say, ¿qué? Blah, 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 blah. ¿Qué? Entonces me dice, do you speak English? And I say, oof, panic at the disco. I say, yes, that was my English. So they were speaking, I wasn't able to understand nothing.
Yeah.
And I say, I need to take action because I've been trying to, learn it the whole life, but I haven't worked the
That was,
necessary. I haven't done the necessary
yeah,
things.
you were still 16 at this time, right?
16, 17, I don't
Were
remember
you
too
drinking
much.
at the bar? Is that legal there?
Yeah. No, it's
You're
because the
drinking
only place
water,
that
right?
you was able to bring water
Yeah, yeah,
was over
at the
there,
bar.
and it
Okay.
was.
I like that
But
though.
no,
That's
I supposed to had a race to the other day,
as well. Yeah, you were clever.
and no. If if I was trying to drink something, like alcohol, and then try to swim in total, it's supposed to be 800 meters.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be dying.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, don't worry,
So
don't.
then
I do like
I
that
started.
story. Sorry to interject. Like, that was that fear of like I'm missing out on something here. There's something that I've missed out on this conversation. Like I couldn't manage this, and that was I like that. That was your action moment when you were like, I realized that
Yeah,
I've missed out something from this moment, and I need to do something about it. Love that. So
yeah.
you, you didn't win the
They,
competition, so
no, I didn't win.
you get a good lesson.
I never won a good place on that, but I love it to do it
Good, good,
because
good
the
work.
the adrenaline and everything was,
All right,
and the
cool.
teammates. More than that, like, okay, I never say something like the important thing is having fun. Now, when you win, you win. That's better than nothing.
Of course.
But in other case, if the other guys are better than you and you have been working a lot on that and you wasn't able to reach something, the experience, the discipline that you learn during those years, it's something it doesn't have any value on the world. So when I feel that thing, I was in swimming, having a championship. When I was getting back to my house in Barinas City, that's the name, Barinas.
Marina?
Mhm.
No, is it the coast as well? You're in the mountains.
No, I'm something like a cowboy.
Cool.
Yeah,
We can look it up later. Though. Go. I don't want to interrupt you.
yeah.
Keep going.
So I say no, I need to start working on that, and I start learning on 2 or 3 different courses,
Hmm.
and one of them I didn't like it too much because it was 30 guys in the same room.
Yeah.
The other one was more private, but as well it was more expensive.
Mm.
So in that case, I was saying, oh my gosh, I'm pretty bored of this. But a little later on, I um, I start speaking with my the only teacher that I felt something like I was learning was that American English you know
Hmm.
teacher because
Yeah, the girl, right?
because she was when she had the lessons with me, she wasn't speaking in Spanish at all.
Right.
So she was trying to force you
Hmm.
to start speaking. That's pretty important.
Yeah.
She left the country for many reasons, and I found her on Facebook, and I was trying to write in English, which is a pretty difficult skill when you try to have a good rhythm of conversation. Something like in Spanish,
Hmm.
you say, "Hey, how are you? Hey,
Right.
everything is
Right.
going well."
The structure of your conversation, like.
Yeah, but she felt or she saw something like, this guy is trying to learn. So she gave me a book which is English grammar in use,
Yeah. That is a
and
famous one.
she told me something like Okay, start working on this. To try to do the whole exercises.
Hmm.
And at the end of this book, that book has something like 300, 400 pages,
Pretty
even
thick.
with the
Yeah.
results.
Yeah.
Uh,
Pretty thick.
yeah, so I finished that book, and I say, oh my gosh, I'm done. I'm gonna start speaking now.
Wow,
No,
you did that whole
nothing.
book. That is really impressive. That is impressive.
Yeah, yeah, I used to spend something like 1 or 2 hours per day doing that.
Wow. Wow.
But I know my limits. So when I was pretty
Tired.
come on,
Burnt out.
tired,
Burnt out.
yeah, I say, oh my gosh, I used to drink something. Don't watch television because you used to forget what you learned. So try to um, relax a little bit and start working on that because I really need it. When I finished that book, I was able to understand and feel the structure of a conversation, but I wasn't able to speak it yet.
Hmm.
And I say, what it's happening? I say, what I supposed to do? If you want to, that's the secret. This is the secret. If you want to speak, you have to speak. That's
Exactly.
it.
It's in a book.
But for me in Venezuela, that the situation was getting, more difficult every single day.
Yeah.
And for having a good tutor it wasn't possible because the minimum wage in Venezuela is something like $2. It doesn't help nobody around the world. So I was
$2
looking
a
for
day or
free
$2 a month?
month.
$2 a month.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't afford anything. You
No,
can't.
I wasn't able to afford nothing, in that moment. So I was looking for, free forums that it doesn't work too much because you need. This is my advice. If you want to have better results, you need to um, start working on your own plus extra, help, which is a tutor. Why? Because when you are in an open forum like this, there are people from French, Switzerland. Rarely you're gonna be able to see a guy from United Kingdom or United States, which means they have pretty strange accents. So you say what, and they aren't able to speak 100%, well
Yeah.
structured English.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna be able to try to speak a little bit, but you don't feel that. Even that I didn't have too many options, and I was trying to say, but I remember the guys in the room. They used to be pretty. They used to encourage you, something like, "Okay, start
That's
speaking.
good.
Don't worry,"
That's
and
good.
you say blah 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 blah.
Hmm.
So
So
the
you're
guys
speaking.
used to say, "Yeah, well done."
You're like speaking to them on like this, almost like on a webcam, Skype, sort of on a call.
No, there are many chat rooms. There is a chat roulette, which is not a good option for many reasons.
Yes, I know channel roulette, and yes, I
But
the concept is good, but reality,
yeah,
the
in,
reality
in
is
the in the in the paper you see, you can learn English practicing with people around the world. Oh, that's nice. But when you do the practice, you expend
yeah,
a lot of time
definitely
because
not.
they are having a conversation and you are
Yeah,
trying to get into that, and
yeah.
you won't be able to speak even that. If
Well,
they are speaking in a specific topic, it's
Mhm,
gonna be harder for you because if they are speaking about medical things or technology and
mhm.
you are learning the basic ones, my dad's name is Jose. Can you imagine that? It's gonna be pretty difficult.
I was gonna say
So
the warning with chat roulette is you need to be over 18 because sometimes there's some indecent images. Some people are not,
yeah,
so be
yeah,
careful with
that's
that
that's
one.
not a good idea.
Not a good idea. But anyway, there are other. So you went, but I don't understand. You went on forums and were you like chatting like that, or is it like text chat, or is it like voice chat? Like,
The voice chat.
yeah,
There is a app
what's the app?
called Discord.
Okay, like discourse.
Discord. So if you try to find, if you are looking to learn something, you
Yeah.
only need to type the topic. For example,
Okay.
learn English,
Hmm.
and the app gonna be able to show you different groups. chat groups, 100 people, 200 people over there, and you get into it and you find a room and try to speak.
Mm.
You say, okay, okay, I found people to speak, but it's not something focused and there is no commitment. So it's a good way for having fun. Like, I'm trying to speak, but there are no
It's not the
many.
best. It's not the best.
It's not the best.
And
It's
that's
not the
what happened
best.
when it's free. When something is free, it's going to take you more time because you don't have people
Yeah. For
within you.
example, if you travel to a new country, I have friends that they live in United States, on Atlanta, New York, and they don't speak English pretty well.
Right. Why is that?
Because yeah, the reason is that if you see a native speaker and you say, could you please help me with this,
Hmm.
fuck you. You know, I have my time,
Right.
and people don't used to be pretty polite, and or they don't have the enough patience
Yeah.
to help you. So if you want to learn, you need to do two specific things. Start working on your own and find some good help,
Excellent.
because there are help, but people like, it's free, okay, but they are going to speak, try to speak of any kind of topic, and you won't be feeling enough. And with a tutor, you're gonna be feeling like, okay, um I'm gonna speak as a tutor. You have a responsibility, right? You need to help that person. Another thing, that no one learns in the same rhythm. It doesn't mean that you are good or you are going to be able to learn that the language. But patience is the key. Even if you are a teacher or even if you are the pupil, you need to be pretty
Mhm.
patient.
Mhm.
Start working on that. There are many questions like, okay, how long it takes? You say, it's up to you.
Yeah. It, that's a tricky
Yeah,
question. That's not easy.
no,
Predict the
it's not.
future. No.
For hmm for
I.
example, I had a Chinese pupil. This is a really interesting story, because I
This is online,
uh,
right? This is online
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I
On
start
what
working
platform?
online
Yeah.
on my lessons
What platform are you
5 years ago.
Okay, that's cool.
So when I started, it was pretty difficult for me, because I was able to speak English, and I say, oh my gosh, I can do it. But I start working on the certification that you see online, and I
Mhm.
say, okay, they give you some advices: do this, do that, do this, do that. You're gonna be able to teach, and that's not the reality. Nothing prepares you for every single a
True.
scenario. So I remember that the first woman that I taught, it was from Russia, and it was from a university from Russia. Can you see
You were
the
teaching
the
her Spanish?
standard?
Sorry, Spanish or English?
Spanish.
Okay.
So that lady wasn't feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't like the way you are teaching. She almost killed me.
She didn't like
I
it.
say she didn't like it at all, because
At least she
the
was in Russia, you know. This is the safe thing here.
yeah, I didn't gave her my address. Maybe I could be pretty
Well,
well.
if she's Russian, she probably have some friends, who are,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
no, no,
Russians are everywhere, right?
right.
So,
Hi, Russians.
yeah, hello, hello. Привет, я José, спасибо, на здоровье, да.
There you go. Go a bit of Russian for them. I hope you said something very.
Yeah. So, in this case, I say, okay, what I learned from that, course, the whole course, until like 400 of time, 400 hours wasted.
Mhm.
Because the whole course used to be giving you guidance about what you are going to do or what you should be doing
Yeah.
in many cases. It
Is
doesn't
this,
work.
is this your teaching training to become a teacher?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so you bought like a TEFL, right? Is that the one you got?
yeah.
But for
That's that.
English or for
Yeah,
Spanish?
for English.
For English, okay. Because I don't.
Because for Spanish, for Spanish, for TOEFL, you can do that course easier than for, if you want to have an Spanish course, it's more difficult
Yeah, sure.
because we have something called Instituto Cervantes.
Okay.
They used to give those certifications, but most of them used to be for Spanish people from Spain, and they have pretty specific careers. For philosophy, um, master, many. I don't remember the
It's a
names.
bit. It's not as accessible as the TEFL. The TEFL is very accessible. Go online.
Yeah, and they used to give you pretty good information,
Yeah.
but that information gives you
No
confidence. You say,
experience.
I can do it. I
Yeah.
can do it.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
can say when you finish the course, you can say I can do it.
Yeah.
But experience in this field, it's pretty important
Yeah. Well.
because it's gonna give you extra point of view, and there is something that most of those courses used to teach you a little bit, which is it's not the same learning in Spanish from French
Well.
or Portuguese
Sure.
than from English or Chinese.
Yeah, because the
Everything
TEFL
changed.
is teaching English. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. Part of the module is about English grammar, about the English language, and that helps obviously prepare you as the teacher. So, did you have some struggles with the grammar then in Spanish, and did you have to start reviewing?
Yeah, in Spanish, the most complex thing could be about the conjugations, right? Because if I say something like to study, estudiar, okay, we are okay. In Chinese, you only need that, and you're going to. But Chinese is like tone, so nya, ni, ñu, it changed the word. So okay,
I didn't know you were learning
but
Spanish as well, learning Chinese as well.
no, I know this because my Chinese pupils.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they give me
Final.
some advices.
It's like
So
one word for many different tones, and that's
yeah, I'm gonna be like, could I do
ah,
this?
it goes up and
Yeah. Ah, gonna
oh,
change everything.
yeah, it goes down. So
Yeah.
go ahead, yeah.
Okay. No. So in this case, I think something like, okay, I prepare. I was thinking, say, okay, I will prepare something more like this. I'm gonna try to speak with my next pupil.
Yeah.
Another thing, being an online tutor could be a little harder when
Mhm.
you are starting,
Yeah.
because it took me 6 months for reaching my first pupil.
Wow. Hmm.
When I I I I got I get into this platform preply.com. They asked me some
What is it? Sorry? A
questions.
platform.
Platform, uh-huh.
What is it called?
Preply or preply,
Oh, I've heard of
preply.com.
Preply or something. Yeah, maybe I've heard of it.
Uh-huh. So they ask you some questions.
An interview.
They request you many things, and you need to upload a video, and that's it.
Hmm.
So
It
when
took
you are, yeah,
6 months.
6 months, yeah. So when
Yeah.
you are starting, you have people that it's working many years. They have been working through many years, instead of you have zero reviews in internet. Your reviews, your reputation, it's
Everything
valuable. It's the
valuable.
most valuable. Okay,
Hmm.
it's the most valuable thing
Hmm.
that you could have. So if you have 100 reviews and you have one bad, oh my gosh. So my second pupil was another Russian teacher, but the first lady, she was 45, 50, and this one was something like 22, 23
Yeah,
years old. So we had the same age almost in that.
that helps
So
to
now in
build.
that moment I had 20, and I was 20 years old, and
Yeah.
she had 20. She was 23, 24.
You're getting tired.
So yeah.
You get
So,
just
sorry.
got not easy. I said you're getting tired because you're confusing the yo soy 20, yo tenía 20, or yo soy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I told you before starting, right?
yeah. You
It's
hadn't been
supposed to
kept.
be a long day, right?
It has been a long day for you, which we'll wrap up.
Yeah.
We'll call it maybe
No,
another.
no, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm doing
Okay,
well.
yeah, okay, good.
So,
So second Russian, this time same age, easier to build a relationship, a rapport with her, obviously.
yeah. So,
Less expectations from her probably as well, because a 40-year-old probably has an idea of what education in the class should look like,
yeah.
whereas a 20-year-old
So,
doesn't really
yeah.
know. So they'll
The second one, she was more open-minded. She said, "Okay, I would like to learn this way," and I said, "Okay, I can help you." So I asked her something like, "Why are you trying to learn Spanish?" And
That's a
she
great
told
question.
me,
That's always a great question, finding out the motivation, right, of your student.
yeah, she was, and she told me something like, "Okay, I'm gonna try to learn Spanish because I have many friends around the world, and I would like to travel in Colombia, Peru."
So travel was the big one.
Don't, yeah. So I said, okay, let's work on that. I gave her my first lesson. I said, oh, I can really like it. And she started working with me for something like 1 year, and it was like a good motivation because the first one almost killed me.
Yeah,
By the way, the
that's
first one was it took me 6 months to have my for
uh,
having my first pupil.
yeah.
The second one it took me three more months,
Wow.
so 9 months to start working on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Then she was speaking with a friend, and that friend started working with me.
Mm.
And
Word of mouth, word of
the Russians are pretty well with languages.
mouth. Mhm.
They learn pretty fast, faster than um, the, the other countries. For example, for North American people, they used to it is more difficult
Is
than.
that because they already speak English, though? Do your Russian usually speak English? Because if they already
Yeah,
have English, then Spanish is easier, right? It's
yeah. It's easier when you learn the third language than the
yeah,
second one.
definitely. Everyone knows that.
So
Everyone who
they
speaks
catch
this language
everything
knows it.
faster.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
And Russian has the same structure in Spanish,
Okay,
so
good.
they only need to learn the words.
Same
That's a
time, really.
plus.
Like it's on the adjective, and they have.
Yeah, the whole structure is the same.
That'll be interesting.
So
So if you're Russian, you can learn Spanish easily. Definitely make a course and start publishing it, like targeting people in Russia.
yeah, that's a good way to start working on that. But as a tutor along the way, you are going to be able to see that those fast pupils, right?
Sure.
Those guys that Jose, they used to tell me something like this. I have a Mexican friend. We used to speak a lot Spanish, and I say, okay, interesting, right?
Mhm.
I would like to learn Spanish. I say, okay, how long it takes? I say, it's up to you. What about 1 month? And I say, I don't think so, but if you want to try, okay. That's a that's the problem of internet now. You know, those advertisements learn everything in 2 days. No, you don't learn nothing in 2 days. You know?
No, no, we already heard your story of how you worked very, very hard to get where you are now. But it depends on the goal, because I think if the goal is that he wants to be able to talk about himself and have maybe a very simple conversation, he can achieve that in a month. He could do that. But it's the expectations, right? What are your expectations? Like how good do you want to be? And yeah, I mean, it's obviously not going to happen, but I feel like if you did a homestay for a month, it would definitely help a lot. But there's no way you're going to be fluent. It's obviously going to progress you. It's opportunity. It's contribution. But check the expectations there. Like, what do you mean by speak Spanish? Can you be clear on that? I mean, do you want to be able to have a debate about, Russian politics? in Spanish. Uh, you
That's
probably can't do that in a month,
a
right?
translator degree.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It's a translator's degree. It's really high up. But what about getting to know someone at a bar and just having, knowing like a structure of a conversation to be able to like meet someone maybe and at least impress them, by trying. Then maybe they speak Spanish. Like if you're at a bar situation, right, and at least you're trying to speak their language, and not just a bar situation, but any situation, you're going to get a lot more respect if you're traveling. Let's say, I mean, imagine if somebody says to me, "I want to learn uh, Spanish in a month." It's because I'm going to travel to South America in a month. So I want to have basically what is the foundation and a bit of comfort, like feeling a little bit more prepared, right? But you're going to learn much more during the traveling. Then it's about the acceleration. I think it's about what do you expect, and yeah, what can you get out of that time, and obviously how much resources are you going to put to it, time, money. Anything could be possible in theory, but it needs to be within reason and within expectations. So it's good that you encouraged him. Obviously, you were like, "Hey, we can try," because you know that even he's got that desire, right? The need, which you said was really important.
Yeah, okay. The thing that I was trying to tell you about the Chinese guy, but I forget.
That's okay.
There
We
was a
can edit
guy.
it. Just kidding.
Yeah, there was a guy that he's from China,
Mm-hmm.
and that guy used to have 30 minutes lesson once per week.
Yep. Was it effective?
And yeah, for him it was pretty effective because I used to he worked like this. Give me 30 minutes, but give me a lot of homework, and he was
Mm,
pretty commitment.
mm.
So
So that's like
uh,
more of a coach. You were like coaching him, reporting every
yeah,
week, saying, "Hey, how's it going? Tell me, did you have any problems with this or that? Or if not, let's just have a conversation, right?" So, and that kept him motivated, I imagine.
yeah. In that case, we used to mainly speak during our lessons, and he was trying to any kind of questions or doubt. He was able to okay, why do you say this? And there are questions that you are going to say because it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
For example, genders in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
People say, how are you supposed to know the gender of every single thing? And you won't be able to because there are
Irregular ones, aren't there? The
irregular things. Uh-huh.
El Mapa.
So, el mapa. So in this case,
It's annoying. As an English
sometimes
teacher, uh,
uh, in
it's
the
so.
region it change. For example,
This is the benefit of English. English is better like this.
ajá. So el televisor is the TV. O la televisión, it's
Oh,
that TV. Feminine and masculine, they could
yeah,
be both. And
yeah.
it happens a lot with many things.
Okay.
So eagle,
Similar
el,
words.
but if you say in plural, los águilas. Okay,
Mm.
there are rules and phonetic rules. No one's gonna be able to learn them. And if you learn like this, you're gonna be wasting a lot of time
I think,
because
yeah, if you only try and focus on one small point, that's not good.
yeah, and it's not pretty good. So
Who
when
cares
you
that
are
much?
speaking in that thing, so that the Chinese guy was always asking me things about the language and try to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And in the other hand, there are people that they always want to okay, they see you as a teacher instead of a guy that you're gonna be helping him or
That's like a
giving.
more like a teacher, less like a coach. Now it's a different situation.
Yeah, and sometimes you
An
need to
authority.
do both because you're when you are a teacher, you are showing something new. When you're a coach, that guy has uh,
Supporting them
something
and
like previous practices of the acknowledgement on the
previous knowledge of it. I mean, I feel like,
previous. Yeah,
I mean, you could have no previous knowledge of English. I mean, I just feel like that's part of being a teacher anyway, is being coach, isn't it?
same. So when you're a coach, you're going to be, I have problem with the past tenses. Okay, what are we going to do?
This is the past tense. Let me explain it to you again. And by the way, and here's this page, and read this book, and go and watch this video. And this is a great tool that will help you. That's a coach right
Yeah, that's a coach.
there. A
Do
teacher.
this, do this, do this. Don't do this. That's the
Yeah.
most important part. And start try to. There are many people out there that they feel afraid when, oh my gosh, if I make a mistake, should I say masculine form or feminine form or gender? I don't know genders.
I don't care anymore.
No one gonna be,
I don't
in
care
this
anymore.
case, if you are looking for that diploma, which is that diploma that, because there is an interesting thing that in Latin America it's not pretty common that the school you start learning when you are a kid, when kids are learning in the school, they do you know English? Do you know Spanish? Yes or not?
Mhm.
One and zeros, right? And the language is huge, and you
Yeah.
have levels, no?
Yeah.
So there is something called, the European framework of languages, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
A1, A2, B1, B2,
It
C1,
tries
C2.
to categorize it, but it even goes A1 plus B1 plus. You know what I mean? It is difficult, and also you're not just thinking of, it's not linear. It's not, this could apply for all your different skills: the reading, the writing, speaking. Because I've met a lot of tour guides, for example, in Cusco here, that have great speaking skills and listening skills, but are frankly terrible when it comes to writing. You know,
Yeah.
it's a mess, and it's
Writing, for me, writing it's the most difficult part because you need to be more. It's
yeah,
even for your own mother tongue.
language. Mm-hmm.
You could
Yeah.
be able to speak to try to write something, but
Mm-hmm.
have a well structured writing skills. You need to work on that.
Yeah, sure.
It's not something that just come. I know Spanish. I know how to write a good letter for applying to my credit card or my vacations. To no,
Yeah,
you need
yeah.
to. If you want to be um, more specific on what you are trying to say, you have to be a good writer,
Mm-hmm.
and that has, even for your mother tongue, it has work to do before.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine that in a new language? It's gonna be hard, but
It,
it's possible.
it is. It's. I mean, that's one of the reasons I really dislike French. French is even worse than English. We're coming with the phonetics and the spelling being very confusing, and adding silent s's and t's when you can't hear them, so you just have to memorize it, and that is a big struggle for me too. And it doesn't make it easy. So, but writing is important in whatever language your own, or learning a new language. It's thinking on paper, and it's getting your ideas out there in front of you, and you can reflect on it as well, and you can evaluate it. You know, and it's you can save it and reread it again later. I mean, the thing is, it is a lot more work. I mean, I'm finding now that I sometimes want to just speak and have the automated writing, just because speaking is so much easier. You have to slow down a lot. But like, imagine we just like wrote everything we said today in this conversation. It would be a lot of work, a lot more than it's felt like just sitting here talking to you. You know,
Yeah. Mm,
thinking
at the
about it.
beginning,
Yeah,
yeah. At the
editing.
very beginning, it's pretty important to be able to understand and then speak. That those are the
I like
first
that. I
thing.
like that. First understand, then speak. And that's
Mhm.
like I've got a daughter, and I know that's with her. You know, she understood me much before she could speak. She could understand me at a year and a half. You know, she could talk
That's
English.
nice.
You know, and then you say, give me that, or you say no, or you'd say um, come here. Maybe it was the gestures that help, obviously, but that is part of it, communicating, are the
Yeah,
gestures.
yeah. That you
But
don't
she
speak
certainly,
like
every
come
parent knows
here.
that. Every person,
Can you imagine this? Come here, go out.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
go away.
Come here, go out. Yeah,
That's why I love like
it's
sign
pretty
language.
useful.
There's a whole I was watching the news the other day, and you got the sign language guy, and there's a whole language with just gestures. It's just fascinating. Love to
Yeah.
understand it.
Um,
Anyway, I don't want to get off topic. Um, yeah, I mean, Amazing, amazing, man. I mean, I feel like I feel like I've understand your story with like um speaking English. Like I still feel like there was what was it? It's like you managed to you got help basically. But when was that time again? Like when you were able to have conversations? Because I don't think you got there. If I maybe I'm wrong, and you can tell me. But what was that moment where you got enough sufficient practice to, or if sufficient exposure to feel like comfortable saying that I now can speak English?
That second Russian,
Yep.
pupil, she, because when I was teaching her, I supposed to be using, English in sometimes because her Spanish was in zero.
Yeah.
In that case, for giving instructions is easier if you can handle the language.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, okay, I need to work on this, and I say, okay, so um, I was starting working with her, so that means that I was able to pay some things because I was earning money.
Okay.
So I say, okay, I'm going to invest on me. So I was looking for a tutor, and my first tutor was, I don't remember the country, but it
So
wasn't from United States or United Kingdom, which is that guy was able to speak English, but I didn't feel pretty comfortable with it because I say, okay, yeah. Sometimes I didn't understand him when
mm,
he was trying to explain himself. He
yeah.
was typing out something. I
Mm,
was looking for the sound, the pronunciation,
mm,
and it was pretty different. And I
yeah.
say no, it will be wasn't. I don't remember the country, uh,
That's interesting though.
but
You were doing coaching, or you were giving classes, and then you
yeah,
decided, I quite like this. I think I should invest in myself too. I think I see some value in this.
yeah, it's pretty important
Were
to
you?
try to start when you are able to start improving yourself, do
Yeah,
it
yeah,
because it's a good way for investing money.
absolutely, absolutely right.
So I found a coach. I still working with him,
Oh, wow, that's fantastic.
but yeah,
That was 4 years ago.
yeah. So we start
Wow.
working on that,
Yeah.
but he wasn't able to speak Spanish. That was an extra effort for me because I was okay. I need to for the first, but I started working on over the basic things again
Mm-hmm.
because I
Mm-hmm.
learned that those things many years ago. I wasn't able to remember everything, and when you are learning, you need to be an open-minded person.
Mm-hmm.
If you say I already know this, I don't need that. You don't know what you don't know. That's a rule. So you need to start thinking about this, and when someone is trying to explain you in a good way, there are many ways for learning the same things. So if you are able to grasp different ways of learning things,
Mm-hmm.
those things gonna be um, taking
Beneficial, help you, right?
yeah, they are going to be more beneficial for you than just learning in one way because the brain works like this. It has branches, links, things, and it works like this. For me it was uh, after 1 month, okay, working with this tutor,
Yeah.
but along the time reading and everything, uh, I felt that the
You
sense,
need it.
I was needing badly to start speaking, and with you have in front a native speaker that doesn't speak your language, it's gonna be at the beginning it could be pretty difficult because sometimes you don't understand, but eventually you're gonna be able to start making more progression every single step. And when you feel that you start making conversation, my first conversation had 10 minutes of
Nice.
that's it, and I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm doing it.
Look at
It's
this now. It's
incredible.
like more than an hour in English. I think anyone who watches this video will be very impressed with your English. So well done. Well done to you.
Thank you.
Well done to the tutor as well, because I think he was the right match. He suited you. And
Yeah, and be very patient because
beautiful.
during a lesson, the lessons never goes like this. You're learning, you're learning. No, no, no. You always have something like questions and doubts and misunderstandings.
Mm-hmm.
But um, where the most important part it's to find someone that say, okay, you can do it. You didn't do it. You didn't do that conversation that you was trying to do today, but tomorrow, the next day, we are going to work on that. And after that, you are going to feeling more more comfortable when you start working on your conversations and you start reading, you start learning new things. For example, for me, I really like, you know, technological things. And when I need a good review of something, I used to read in English. It's better.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives you tons of opportunities. And that's something like my, not my secret, but it's my story. Work on yourself, work hard, and find a good tutor that could help you. And
Yeah.
it's because maybe you have a friend, but your friends won't be having enough patience. Maybe you feel that over here, you know. I mean, for example, when you go outside with your friends and they don't speak English,
Mm-hmm.
and you try to make a sentence, they say, okay, 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 okay. Maybe there are out there, there are not those friends that gonna be correcting you every single that time that you make, you know, any mistake.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to learn. If you don't know your own mistakes, you won't be able to improve
To improve. Yeah.
your conversational skills.
Yeah. So find friends that are trying to help you to achieve as well. Like being around the right people is going to help learning.
Yeah, but it's not pretty common because when you are in a party, you want to enjoy the party. No, you don't want to be in a Spanish lesson or English lesson with your
Oh no,
friends.
no, yeah, sure.
So
But you
if
must.
you are with your friends and
Yeah,
you try to speak with them and make
yeah.
sense, that's okay.
But these,
But
but these are your
for
friends
having a
or new
better
friends at this.
improvement,
Yeah, yeah,
you need to work with someone that
yeah, sure, sure.
has the same goal that you have, which
Yeah,
is improving
yeah, yeah, yeah. They
your
are.
language.
Their goal is to help you to be there. That's their responsibility. Whereas your friends are not going to, or your new friends, let's say the people you've moved to in your new location, right? Because if it's your old friends from where you live, they probably speak the same language, right? But let's say you
Yeah.
move to a new country like you did. I'm assuming this is like you're now talking about your experiences here. I feel like were you?
No, no, no. I don't mean here. I mean around the world.
Yeah.
For example, when I was 18 years old, I went to Ecuador for many days, and I was living in a German house with German family, and they was most of the time they were speaking in many languages.
Mm-hmm.
With me, they used to speak in Spanish, but always in English, as well in English. And I say, oh my gosh, that was another
Mm-hmm.
way to encourage me to start working on my English, because I was trying
Mm-hmm.
to say, okay, this family is able to speak 4, 5, 6 languages.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I need to be able to speak at least one. So um, where that family was able to speak with many languages, but the other guys in the competition, because it was another competition, they weren't able to speak too much in Spanish. You was trying to speak with your new teammates or the guys that you was surrounded. You was saying, I go pool. Like, it doesn't make sense, but you was trying to do it.
Well, it's not bad, is it?
So
I mean, I think that's quite concise. It's
yeah, but nobody corrected me. Nobody
okay.
say, okay, you need to say, I need to go
Uh,
to the pool, senor.
right.
No,
Yeah.
no one gonna be
Yeah. I
doing
see
that.
your point. Yeah. In a social
So
situation, people feel uncomfortable correcting you.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't do it, but you're paying this person to help you, and that's why they're doing it. But in social, but there's a thing in English called losing face. So you might be hurting my feelings if, yeah, you're losing your face, like as in your ego is being destroyed because you're like, hey, every 2 minutes you're correcting your, and that's why I didn't want to do this video or anything, which I wouldn't want to do that to anyone, like, because this is not a class. It's not like I'm trying to correct. I did do the resort,
No,
but
no, yeah, yeah. No, that's perfect. When you are trying to improve yourself, every
yeah,
every single
you help.
correction gonna help.
Exactly.
And you're right. Most of the people don't do that because they're gonna feel something like, okay, this guy is trying to teach me. But that's another thing that you have to keep on your mind.
Yeah,
If
and
you have friends, try to tell them, try to correct me every single time that I'm speaking, because they're gonna help me a lot.
yeah.
That's a good way for taking advantage
Mhm.
of your new
Mhm.
location, your new place.
Yeah, some people are not natural teachers. They don't feel that they want to upset you. But then if you tell them that it's okay and you want it, then obviously people are open to helping you. And so you don't necessarily have to pay. You can have people who love you, around you, your friends, helping you out if they are English speakers. Like you said, you help. You're an English teacher, not really commercially, but you helped out your someone in the family, your friend, right? And
Yeah, family members, friends of friends,
that's it.
or
It's like a
something like this.
benefit. And I think I want to finish off with like one last thing, like last anecdote or story. Like I just want to know like how if you had like after all of this like a moment in your life where you just felt like deep gratitude for having English because it gave you a better opportunity or a new perspective on life or something to end it on that kind of it. Would it? Did anything come to mind?
Every single day of my new life.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty interesting because I have been making new friends like you and the guys here,
Yeah.
and as well I have been pretty well, opportunities like as a translator for web pages.
Mm-hmm.
For example, there is a guy, one pupil of mine was trying to buy a house in a new country like Colombia. I was helping him to buy it, and that was a job opportunity for me
Yeah.
because that guy wasn't able to speak Spanish properly, but he had the confidence.
Yeah. He trusted you. Yeah.
Trusts, yeah, he trusts on me, and I was dealing with the guy of the house, and we did that transaction, and the guy really say, oh my gosh, thank you very much, because without you probably they will be giving me the gringo price, which is okay, if they see me like this, then okay, they are going to have probably they will be doing a
So
more fair
you've helped.
conversation, no?
You've made money and you've made people happy as well because like you've given them a better deal. Uh,
Yeah, you are solving problems, right?
you're solving problems and you're securing your future because you're getting contracts, you're getting jobs. People trust you. People see you as a credible person. Like they trust you because they see you speak English, and that's like a great.
Yeah, that's a good testimonial. So
Exactly. That's what you need on
um,
the internet. You need someone.
yeah, no, for in this case, you if you are a teacher, you don't. It's like a football coach, right?
Mhm.
You don't need to be a football player for being a coach. You can do it. But for example, Zidane, Pep Guardiola, the best ones used to be players. So, which means if you are able to do something, which is okay, are you teaching a language, right? Do
Mhm.
you know a language? Okay, yeah. Okay, that's gonna give you more credibility.
Mm.
See?
Mm.
So that's an extra. But at any case, it's something like okay, it's up to the English, my friend. To
We've
finish
had
that,
a great conversation. We're going to end up, yeah, now, I think.
yeah, the English is the most powerful tool in this new world.
You said it.
You need to know it.
You said it, not me.
Yeah, that's
My name's
nice.
just Ben English, just by coincidence, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Most
That's
powerful
it.
thing in the world, in the universe. All right,
Oh, yeah.
Jose, this has been absolutely fantastic. I really appreciate having you on the show. Been great talking to you. Really, 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 really cool stuff in that. Lots of amazing advice from and lots of great insight from your experience. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's been absolutely wonderful. If anyone wants to, maybe see if anyone sees this and they actually want to have Spanish classes with you, did you want to maybe give me your details, or maybe you can plug it, and I'll
Oh,
put it in the comments below, or
yeah, I'm gonna give you the link. I have a link for those
few class.
bookings for for the lessons,
Yeah, sure.
and also you can find me on Facebook, right?
Okay,
Jose Alfredo Borjas Aguiar,
there you
longest
go.
name in the
That's
world.
your full. Yeah. Thank you, Jose Alfredo Borjas. What was the last one?
Aguiar.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Okay,
it's been
Ben.
thank you so much. Have a wonderful night, and
You
if
too.
anyone wants to get classes, Spanish classes from you, the link will be in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and do the little button, the little wiggle, so you get updates. And you know the drill. Hasta la vista, baby.
Hasta la vista. Chao.
See you.